I'm Christina Fuchs with MoldMaking Technology, and here with me today is the engineering manager for Hasco America, Brenda Clark. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start by getting to know you a little bit. So why don't you tell us what brought you to the mold making / plastics industry, and how long have you been with the industry?
I started in this industry right in high school. I was able to join a mold maker that needed someone to be an engineer drafter to start, but also answer the phones and do a little bit of everything in the shop. So I really enjoy it. I love it. I was able to start on molding machines and milling machines and work on the drafting board. Yeah, I'm that old. But then get into computer, right? But then transfer that knowledge into computers and keep going.
Yep. So what would you say were skills from all your experience that you bring to the mold industry? Because you're a tooling engineer.
Right, right. Yes, basically being an engineering manager, you need to know that how to put a mold together. And then once that's together, is that going to eject the part the correct way? You know, you need to know how a mold works.
Yeah. I always say it's a machine in itself, the mold, right? It's the heart of everything.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what inspires you about this industry?
Oh, just the lovely people that are in it and working together to create those parts that can actually save lives and help people who are sick, but also go to the extent of entertaining people. Yeah. You can have a mold do anything and make anything for the world.
That is true, which brings us back to what Hasco provides. So Hasco provides mostly mold components, right, and hot runner products. So let's get into some of the current innovations. So I want to start off with 3D printing, because 3D printing is a trend in mold making, as you know. It's continuing. Right. And the recent news with Hasco is a metal powder for 3D metal printing. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Right, we have a cooperation with a supplier who supplies the metal powder in two forms that can be used in the metal injection molded process for additive manufacturing, and it is our product, the MP-1.
Okay.
And there's two forms of it. One form is a strictly metal powder. The other one has a margining approach to it, so they can actually produce different parts.
Okay. That's the most exciting trend, I think, that's happening in the tooling industry. So it's interesting that other suppliers that are atypical in that space are getting into that space.
Right.
So, all right, so talk to me a little bit about Hasco's products that are focused on simplifying processes, which is a huge theme for Hasco. Specifically, why don't you break down the key features and functions of the clean break multi-coupling cooling system?
Yep, that's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
The multi-coupling cooling feature is it's like plug and play for your cooling system.
Okay.
You can hook up all your lines from your molding machine on one side and then your mold on the other side. And then with the clean break, you can just push it in and lock it.
Okay.
But then when you unlock it, even though it's been running, and you take it apart, it's not going to leak. You're not going to have water all over the floor. It's one of these quick disconnects.
Got it. Quick connect, quick disconnect.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Another thing is data. So mold making, that's another continuing trend. Everything's about collecting data, analyzing data. So to me, what falls within that is mold monitoring. So I think we need to talk a little bit about the LockCheck, the mold monitoring device, and how it acts as a global positioning system, right, to track injection molds across the globe.
Correct.
So talk about that, how that works.
It doesn't actually collect any data, but it creates data.
Okay.
And what that LockCheck does is it works on GSM location, like off of your cell towers. It needs 3 cell towers. And this unit is attached to your mold, so when a mold is traveling around the world, you can track it wherever it is, every hour during the day or once during the day. You know where your tool is. Tools are expensive.
Exactly.
There's a lot of money into these cores and cavities, and you don't want to lose these. You want to know that they're in the facility they're supposed to be, and you can even track the temperature on it, so you know if it's actually in production and running. So there's a lot of potential with this LockCheck
device. All right, so for a couple of years now, we've all had to deal with a lack of in-person connection, which, as you know, this mold making community thrives on. So that's also important for educating your customers, servicing your customers. What has Hasco done to change or improve during this time? How they've serviced and educated their customers without all this face-to-face?
With direct contact to our customers, between calling them and video chats, to making sure that if a technical issue came up, we had the proper protection to go into their facilities and still see them. They're still manufacturing, so you still have to get in that personal area. So we never stopped working.
There you go.
We always strive to help in any way, shape, or form. We were actually video set up way before any of this happened, so it was a really easy fix for us to do that. I would go in and train, our rep would bring parts to them and sit out in the parking lot, and we'd all get it done.
You do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for your time. Now, before I let you go, you may or may not know, we have our t-shirts.
Wow.
And the hashtag is molds make a difference. But Brenda, I want you to fill in the blank. So molds make
life happen.
Oh, I like that. There you have it. From Brenda at Hasco, molds make it happen. And for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com.